Really?
Okay, let me tell you really quickly. So I have a show called Super Agents Live.
Mm-hmm.
I interview top producing real estate agents.
All right.
And so agents, coaches, and authors. And I've had guys, Tom Ferry's been on my show, Mike Ferry, Bob Corcoran, you name it, right? We've had 50 of the top 250, of the Real Trends guys. So we've had people on here that do 30 million to 150 million on the show.
Mm.
I was on Jamie Tardy's show. I saw you on that show, and I was blown away. So
cool.
I heard it, and I was like, I got to get this guy in the show. And then I find out from Lisa,
I bought some real estate.
Yeah, that you're in real estate.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So again.
Let me just say this, okay? Let me just say this. I have met maybe one, maybe two, if I stretch it, exaggerate it, decent real estate agents in my lifetime.
Yeah, that's amazing. And look, that is my experience as well.
Dude, they suck. They suck, okay? They don't know anything. All they do is show shit, you know? I'm like, well, look, bro, if that's all I did, you could work at Best Buy.
Yeah, I 100% agree. You should listen to my show because I get the best of the best on. And
no, that's cool.
And a lot of your sales tactics and what you promote, we talk about. So
yeah.
So listen, I'm just going to do the intro and
let's roll, man.
And we'll get going.
Come on. Where are you located?
San Diego.
Oh, beautiful. Where? I lived in La Jolla for 12 years.
Oh, yeah. So I'm in La Mesa.
Okay. Yeah.
Are you in La Jolla now?
No. I'm in Miami Beach right now.
Got it. Okay, that's what I thought. All right.
Otherwise, I'd come see you.
Yeah, that'd be cool. All right. Today's guest is amazing. He's a New York Times bestselling author. I'm watching him on Skype right now. You guys can't see him. But this guy's been on Fox News, Fox Business, NBC, MSNBC, and all those outlets. They do one thing. They pick his brain on a ton of topics. The economy, business leadership, and entrepreneurship. I am thrilled to have Grant Cardone on the show.
My man, thank you for having me, T.
Nope.
TS.
Hey, thanks for taking the time out. Look, Grant, you have just a crazy, rich, varied background. But maybe take a minute, tell the audience a little bit about yourself and what you're doing.
Well, let's see. Where do I start, man? There's a lot to tell. I spent a lot of time in San Diego. I grew up in Louisiana. I moved out to La Jolla, California, lived there for 12 years, left, moved to Los Angeles, California, lived there for 12 years. I've been buying real estate for the last 25 years or 20 years. But before that, I became extremely well known for a new thought on sales and sales approaches, sales techniques. It was labeled information-assisted selling, and it's now taken over. I mean, it's extremely influential in the automobile industry, but also I've worked with Google, Morgan Stanley, lots of real estate people who really need it. Really need it. Okay.
Absolutely. Right. So you have is your thing. I know you've been super successful in real estate. And in fact, I learned from your assistant that right now you have a $17 million house that you're selling, and it's being featured on Selling LA. What do you do today? I mean, don't, books are one thing. You don't make a lot of money from books.
Well, I mean, books $30. Okay, I'm selling a $30 book right now, and I also am buying a $32 million apartment building. So, which one do you think the most money's in? My accountant told me the other day. He's like, man, I go on YouTube, I see all this stuff on you. You know, you're on Twitter, you're on Facebook, everything's sales and business expansion and entrepreneurs, and he's like, there's nothing in there about your real estate. And I'm calling you today, Grant, to tell you to drop everything. Drop the books, drop the speaking engagements, quit doing anything and everything except what you do with real estate.
Well, now, look, you have a sales training. I mean, you teach people to sell.
Yeah, that's right. I teach people. I teach companies. Basically, I made a claim about years ago and just said, look, I could go into any company selling any product, any city, anywhere in the world, no matter the economy, and I guarantee I can increase your sales 15 to 20% just by finding the missed opportunities. Every company has them, including mine.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. Now, in our pre-chat, we chatted a few minutes before we got onto this, and what you said was most real estate agents are terrible at their craft.
I didn't say that. I said they suck.
okay, so listen.
No offense, but look, the first thing I find wrong with the real estate, I do a lot of commercial, but I've also bought a lot of residential property, and I mostly buy multifamily. These are big deals. I mean, a small deal for me is $5 million. A big deal is going to be, biggest deal I've been involved in was $58 million. I mean, I did another deal at $80 million. The real estate agent gets lost in the deal and forgets that, look, man, the whole time you're still negotiating. I mean, it's one of the most difficult, particularly when you get into these higher valued sales. You're dealing with people that can change their mind that quick. A lady was showing me a house on Indian Creek the other day for $32 million. She's one of the most successful agents, not just in Miami, but in the country. And she's like, I said, look, I want to make an offer. I want to offer him $26 million. She's like, oh, no, he'll say no. I said, no, he said no in the past. No in the past doesn't mean no now. And the thing about ballers, Billy killers, big hitters, okay? The thing about those guys, they can say no for 30 days in a row and one morning wake up and say, I'm ready to get rid of that piece of garbage. It's just more problems that I want. Get rid of it. And the agent needs to understand all these. The professional super agent needs to understand how to fly, faster than a speeding bullet, jump higher than the Empire State Building. I mean, they really need to learn how to be spectacular, not just show properties.
So what is that? How do you become spectacular, Grant? I mean,
look, we're all born with greatness. Everybody's born with greatness. You've been born with it, Toby. I have. But the only way, it's got to get developed. You got to work it. You got to train it. You got to educate it. And I know that your listeners particularly have heard this before, and they know it to be true. But see, we're all learning something every day. The problem is most of us are learning from 800 TV channels, endless, useless tweets and posts on Facebook and Ustreams and YouTube videos and even what the comments, the light, short, little dumb comments our friends and employees make. The guy that's down and out that sits next to you in another office and he hadn't sold anything in 30 days and he makes this little comment like, man, the banks aren't lending any money, or these buyers are ridiculous now. They're all greedy. You can't get anybody to think. It's ridiculous. See, those light little comments are basically training, and we're all getting training every day. The average American reads one book a year. They get their comments from everybody else, and there's no control on the dumb things, the amount of dumb things that people will say to you, unknowing that they're being dumb and stupid and even dangerous.
I completely agree with that, and I, with everything you said, right? We're bombarded with useless information. We're bombarded with negativity from the guy in the cubicle next door, right? So we need to filter that out. One thing that one quote that I love that I say on the show often is by Jim Rohn, right? We are the average of the 5 people we spend the most time with. So we need to level up and spend time with guys like you.
Yeah.
And that's going to change our mindset and be able to help us to uncover our inner greatness. But to get to that inner greatness, right? You started off with always be negotiating, right? So offer that guy $26 million. And sooner or later, he's
dude, write the deal. First of all, write the deal. Don't tell me why he won't take it, okay? Write the deal. Your job is to write a deal, to put it in that guy's face and handle his emotions. Because the reason she didn't want to write it, she immediately went back to, oh, no. And she even told me this. I remember when I called him up and a guy offered 30 and wanted him to carry paper on 10 of it. Look, these are ballers, dude. These are big guys. They all come with problems, right? So he wanted the seller to carry 10, and he literally hung up on me. I'm like, okay, so what? So what? He hung up on you. Call him back. Call him back, get back in his face again. What really happened out of this whole situation is she lost the listing. She is now showing me a property she just lost a listing on 4 days before because she's not confronting the emotion. This is a big mistake that salespeople make in closing deals. It's one of the reasons I talk about salespeople fail to close, because they don't want to deal with emotion, not their own emotion. You don't want to deal with the seller or the buyer's emotion. And this is something people have to understand. Dude, I'm not a psychiatrist or a therapist, and I definitely don't recommend anyone go to them because they're definitely confused people themselves. But what I would tell you is you got to learn how to close a transaction and deal with other people's emotions for just what they are. They're just emotions, and that's it. It's like a kid screaming. 1 minute he's screaming, 1 minute he's crying, next minute he's happy.
So you said, they're scared to confront the emotions. Now, could I drop the emotions and say that they're scared of the confrontation? Is that it? I mean, what?
They're scared of the confrontation, man. Look, it's like you got to be willing to confront. I mean, confront is part of confrontation. That's actually where the word comes from, right? It's like confront, confrontation. It gets ugly sometime. And when you're talking about money, I can't believe you even offered me that. That's ridiculous. And he hangs up. Okay. Well, you can't stay in that emotional state for long periods of time. That's going to blow off. The thing to do is stay with the guy. Do you believe your offer was fair at $26 million? Okay, or 30 and carry 10, or whatever the deal is. If you believe your offer's fair from a buyer that can perform, that will close, and you have an obligation then to that seller to convince him, dude, I know you want it all. I know you want the $34 million. I'm not getting you $34 million today. I got a guy on the phone that's willing to go 26. I'm telling you, reconsider this. Be pissed off at him if you want, okay? You can urinate on him if you choose to. You can be pissed off for the rest of the night. This is a good offer, a real offer from a buyer. He will perform. I'm telling you, I think you ought to I tell you to take the deal, but at least counter him. See, that's what she didn't do in that situation that can keep a guy in a deal. And the only way you can be that focused is you have to be training and educating yourself and staying connected to somebody that's giving you that message every day. Like some of your listeners right now are probably saying, man, I wish I could hear what he just said again. That was good. See how fast you can miss something? Like, man, I wish he would say that again, what he just said, you know? And the good news is you can, I think you can rewind your end. You're certainly going to be able to rewind my end because we're recording over here as a video.
Yeah. Oh, man. Okay. I should have done video on my side.
It's all right. It's all right,
so listen, so Grant, so this girl, she should have written the deal and she should have gone back to the buyer, the seller.
Yeah.
And talked to him. Now, here's what she probably failed to do, right? And what is on my show, right? We have super agents come on. You need to be servant-hearted. You need to uncover at a deep level what that seller really wants to achieve.
Yeah.
And build that relationship. Now, if she had that relationship with this guy, it should have been a no-brainer to say, hey, Grant wants to give you $26 million. Here's why it's a good offer in this market.
Yeah, I agree with you. And look, there's only one reason anybody buys anything. And you know, in this case, in every case, there's really no seller. Everybody's buying something. He's trying to buy something, even though he's getting rid of an asset. And I'm trying to buy something. And the real estate agent is trying to buy something. We're all selling something in hopes to get somebody to buy something from us, okay? And so if you can, you know, her job is to solve the problem. And the only way you solve a problem is by closing a deal. Until then, it's just talk. There is no service. There's no service in the sale. The service is in an agreement closed and finished. And I think salespeople many times, even super agents, can get confused from time to time. I know I can get confused from time to time, and I've written 4 books since the Lehman collapse just on sales and business in the new economy. I can get confused and lost and not forget where I'm at in that deal and what my job is. My job is to solve a problem because people pay to have problems go away. And in this case, this guy's got a tax liability every year. It's probably $500,000 a year. He's got upkeep on the property. He's got a property that's getting older all the time. And so her job then is to find out, hey, what problem is this guy trying to solve? And then be ruthless, literally be ruthless about what it takes to solve and resolve that problem and bring it to a close, because that's when he's going to say, you know, I didn't get what I want, but thanks for putting a deal together.
I completely agree. So in terms of being ruthless, you need to be you need to be ruthless on getting the deal done and providing your client with what they want. You need to be ruthless with your time, right? So in terms of uncovering so this girl she got the listing and then she lost the listing.
Yeah. And look, she's as good as they get. So, I mean, I'm not taking anything away from her. She just, you know, you have enough failures over any period of time, 30 days or 3 months, you start making mistakes.
Right. Now, in your books, right, you are, you know, Aaron, even in this episode, this interview, you talk about negotiating, you talk about closing. There's a lot of stuff that has to happen before you do that, right? You have to go out and find that listing. In this case, and this woman, you know, how does somebody, you know, if you can put a $26 million deal on the board, that's a great month. How does somebody go out and do that for you?
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
if I wanted to represent you, Grant, on your $58 million deal,
Yeah.
how do I do that?
Well, you had to call me first. Nobody. A guy sends me a letter the other day. One of these, anonymous letters. I have a buyer for your Daytona property. I mean, I know what that letter is, dude.
Sure.
I know what it is. You're trolling, bro. So bone up, get off of Facebook, and get in my face. Look, I'm not going to stop and look at a letter. I gave it to my assistant and said, hey, you know what? Give the guy a shot. Maybe there's something there. I doubt it. I know what he's doing. He's trolling. And then he goes away. Like, if you want to play in the big leagues, you got to go out where the water's deep. If you want to catch the big freaking 800-pounder, you got to go. You got to go out there where it's scary.
Right.
I had a guy tell me the other day, I said, dude, you scared? We were going on this call together, and I said, you scared? He's like, no. I said, well, then let's go do something else, bro, where we're scared. You got to get in deep water, baby, where maybe we don't make it back to land. And that's what people aren't doing. They're not going out and taking big risk. I mean, throwing out the big stuff. Look, I started with nothing, zero. I was behind the eight ball when I was 25 years old. I've never taken a real estate course. I've never read a book on real estate. I just wanted to buy real estate. I've done $350 million in transactions in the last 20 years by myself with my own money, from scrapping, pushing, and shoving. I'm going to do twice that in the next 10 years, just in multifamily. And I can tell you, it's not because I'm smarter. It's not because I'm brighter, but I'm going to outwork you. I'm going to outwork you. I'm going to outpitch you. I don't depend on my good looks or my luck. I depend on one thing: push and shove. And so when I talk about being ruthless, look, I'm not being ruthless for the sake of being ruthless. I'm trying to take care of my two little girls and my wife and my dreams. And I'll do anything. I'll do anything to give birth to my dreams and my children and my marriage. I'll do anything to give birth to it, hold it together, and make sure it multiplies. And I think that's the thing that people, this isn't a motivational thing I'm talking about here. I'm not talking about walking on fire. I'm talking about, dude, you got to be on fire every day.
Yeah, I agree. But look, here's what you said, and I try to live my life in that way, right? Do something scary every day. And by the way, I mean, it's scary talking to you, Grant. I would be scared to death to try to get one of your deals. No, I'm halfway joking. But at the end, this is what I want to address.
Yeah.
So, you have your dreams. You have big dreams. You have your kids. You love them, and you'll do whatever it takes. You'll be ruthless to take care of both your dreams and your children, right? What you said was, you said, hold it together, right? That contradicts a little bit. And I think that's what most agents want to do. They just want to hold it together. Whatever they have, they don't want to lose it. How does somebody then change their mindset to go back to what you said earlier? Get scared, get in the deep water, and take big risk, because that's where you're going to win.
Yeah, I think, it goes back to your question that I probably didn't fully answer, which was, how would I get a deal from you if I wanted? One, call me. If that doesn't work, call me back. If that doesn't work, come see me. Like, walk in and bust in my door, man. What are you going to do? Sit at home? There's nothing happening at home. You got people right here in the Miami real estate market and in San Diego, in two of the hottest markets in the country right now, and you got real estate agents still not going to make any money this year. Yep. See, because it doesn't matter how good it gets. When it gets really good, the top guys get more, and the bottom guys just get whatever they got. And so it's like, dude, get in my face. Nobody else is. Nobody else is walking in my office. The doors are open. It's a public bank. You come to the top floor. You can walk in and say, dude, I'm here. I got a buyer for your $58 million real estate portfolio. I think I could pull 80 out of this marketplace right now. G. Give me 4. Give me 3. Give me 2. Come on, let's sit down and talk, bro. I mean, that's all. You could just do it in any language you want. You want to go ghetto with me, or you want to be the J.P. Morgan white shoe professional? I don't give a shit. Get in front of me and pitch me. And when you're pitching me, be scared to death, man. I don't care if your hands are shaking. Every successful person that you're going to sit across has been where you've been, sat in the chair you're sat in, and has been terrified to death as well.
Yeah. I love it. I absolutely love it. And listen, sometimes on these interviews, Grant, a lot of times I'm interviewing someone. Sometimes I get somebody like you on, and I get so enthralled in your story that I forget to keep track of where we're at. So
why don't you tell everybody how you found out about me? Because I'm ashamed that you didn't know me, but that's my fault, not yours. You didn't even know who I was a week ago. Tell him how you found out about me.
So there's a show.
Backstory, man. Backstory.
Yeah, by my friend Jamie Tardy. I know Jamie. I've met Jamie, and she has a show called Eventual Millionaire, where she interviews millionaires and she talks about how they did it. Now, luckily, I'm a millionaire.
Can I interrupt you? She said, Grant, what's it like to be a millionaire? I said, dude, if I'm worth $1 million, I'm gonna go jump off the damn roof right then now. Okay, I'm going backwards if I'm a millionaire.
Yeah, for you and for me, right? So, my net worth is like 3.3. So I just, by the skin of my teeth, made it on the show. So I was interviewed by Jamie. I follow her show. I saw you, and I was absolutely blown away when I saw your interview. So I would suggest everybody go eventualmillionaire.com, find Grant Cardone. It's a wonderful, wonderful episode. That's how I found out about you. Now one thing, you've gotten tons of media play. How do you do that?
I've created tons of media play, my friend.
How, Grant? Because listen, I want to get into your story.
Yeah.
You came from nothing, right? You grew up in the swamps of Louisiana.
Dude, it was so swampy. I took a canoe to school. People walk to school. Shit, I took a canoe.
So I mean, you're living in this, like, on the water.
Yeah.
Right. You're catching crawfish.
Crawfish for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Bang. And now you're selling. You have a $17 million house that you're selling.
We sold that house in L.A. actually. So
got it.
And everybody, I had offers for $12 million for 3 years, and everybody told me I was an idiot. So I put it on TV. So I'll tell you the story behind that. Selling L.A. is a HGTV home and garden channel, and had this show called Selling New York that was very popular, and then they did Selling L.A. And a couple years ago, they called me up. It was Lionel Richie's house up in Los Angeles, Hollywood Hills. Unbelievable view. I mean, the place was crazy. When I bought that house, I paid all the money for it. And Ben Affleck, cheap bastard that he is, me and him were both looking at the house at the same time. He's clipping $20 million a movie. I'm just out there pushing and struggling, and I outbid the guy for the house. He backed off because he bitched up on himself. And so, anyway, these guys at Selling LA called me up and they said, hey, we're doing a show called Selling LA. We've done our whole season already. And we want to come, if we could, we'd like to come and take some shots of your show to use as the backdrop, the setup of the show. They got a word for it. I don't know, whatever the word is, right? Sure. So the word is, to sell the show. But my house wasn't going to be on the show. I said, okay, so you want to come take photos because why? Because your view is sick. I said, yeah, dude, come on out. Y'all going to come with a fixed camera or are you going to come with video? Oh, no, we're going to be doing video. I said, right. What time will you be here? They said we could be there about 8:30 tomorrow morning. I said, I'll meet you at the front door, okay? Now, if I ever tell you I'm going to meet you at the front door, I guarantee you there's something in it for me.
Right.
So this cat comes with his camera at the front door. It's at the bottom of some steps, okay? So this house is 2 levels, but the only level is when you're walking up to the front door, and then you're on this single level, flat, 3/4 of an acre flat in the Hollywood Hills, overlooking all of L.A. And the guy comes to the bottom of the door, and I'm like, what's your name, dude? He's like, Mike. I said, Mike, is that camera on? He's like, no, I said, turn that damn thing on and follow me, baby. I'm going to give you the tour of your damn life. And he walks in the house, man. I bring him into the great room. I said, you see up there? See up in those ceilings? Up in those ceilings right there. The beams were imported from Noah's Ark. They're over 8,000 years old. And he's like, oh, my God. Well, the whole crew starts laughing. The chief on the deal, the executive or whoever they call him, he says, excuse me 1 second. And I did that for like 15 minutes, right? And he's like, I'm calling the network right now and telling them we got to make this the first show of all the shows. Now, they had shot their whole season, right? But I was so impactful. I got so much interest. I created so much of a buzz and got so much attention for a short period of time that they actually highlighted my show on their season. Now, the reason I'm telling your listener this story is the number one biggest problem we all have, and I didn't know this till I was 40 years old. The number one problem we all have is a word called obscurity. Obscurity is the opposite of attention, okay? Now, we were told as little kids, don't get too much attention. That is your biggest problem. Do you need more attention? You have to get attention. Every real estate agent listening to this, if you want to be a super agent, Super Spider-Man, Superman, Batman. Dude, take your tights, okay, pull them up to where I can see your nuts, And then make sure if you don't have nuts, make it look like you got them, okay? I don't care. Male or female, it don't matter to me, dude. I need to see you got balls if you're going to represent me. And then I need you to get on TV. I need you to get on the radio. I need you to get on YouTube and let the world know that you have a cape. Let the world know that you're the best of the best. Let the world know that you are the go-to guy or gal, that you are the difference maker, the celebrity in your space. And that's when people will finally pay you what you're worth. Get attention.
I love it. And look, people have a hard enough time if they live in a little tiny town, right? They have a hard enough time getting attention around, their geographic farm or around their kid's school.
Yeah.
You somehow cracked the code to figure out how to get on NBC, MSNBC, Fox, selling LA.
Yeah.
So you put your cape, then what? I'm going to go put on my cape right now.
Dude, the way you do it is you use YouTube. My wife's an actress, and I told my wife maybe 5 years ago, we were still in LA at the time. And she had come back from an audition, and she was crying. She's like, oh, my God, it's so hard. I'm like, hey, what the hell's wrong with you, man? You an actress, okay? Damn, what the hell's wrong with you? Oh, you don't even understand. It's so difficult. You don't know anything. You don't know what it's like. I said, yeah, you know what I don't know? I don't know what it's like to be invited to an audition. I've been to 20,000 auditions, hadn't been invited to one of them. Okay? Look, we all get rejected. If you're on planet Earth, you're being rejected. You're just not being rejected enough. I said, you know what? I'm so sick of hearing you cry. I'm going to get a damn TV show for myself. I'll show you. It doesn't take you knowing anything. Okay, this is maybe 5 or 6 years ago. So I went on. I had this idea now. I'm going to prove to my wife, without knowing anything about TV or movies or anything, I'm going to get my own TV show. So how would I do that? Okay. Oh, I know how I do it. I'd take my phone that's got a camera in it. I'm going to become a director, a producer. I'm going to produce Grant Cardone movies, drop them on YouTube. Okay. I didn't have a YouTube channel, so I got to figure out how to get a YouTube channel. I dropped 1,200 videos on YouTube over the next 4 years. Literally 2 years into it, this group out of New York calls me and says, hey, we want to do a TV show around you. I'm like, damn, what took you so long to call me? Come on, man. And
1,200. Go ahead. Sorry.
So every real estate agent could do that. You guys are not. You're not using YouTube. There's nobody's out using YouTube enough to say I'm the celebrity in the space. I'm the guy or gal in this zip code, whatever your zip code is. Look, you don't want to target for a zip code, a county, a state. You want to target planet Earth. Planet Earth is the new target marketing. I want people in India and Mexico. I want people in China talking about Grant Cardone being the sales king of the universe. Because the guy in China might know somebody in Miami that has a business here that hooks me up. Right. So it's no longer about worry about your little county or your little market area. If you're a RE/MAX agent, man, you need everybody in the world talking about you, not just people in your city or town.
Agreed. Well, and by the way, so this show right now, Grant, so this show is in just under 50 countries. So we have listeners in Pennsylvania and Peru, 50 countries. Yeah. And I even have listeners in China, believe it or not.
That's unbelievable. How are they going to understand what I'm saying?
I don't know. I've had like not too many, but like maybe 90 downloads in Pakistan.
Come on.
I'm dead serious.
That's smart, man. I guarantee you, I'll guarantee you, I'll get more views on this show than you'll get on your own show.
What do you mean?
I'm going to get more views in the next 30 days. I'll get more views on your show with my video of your show than you're going to get of your radio show with your own damn show. Now,
you probably will because you have a giant platform.
Come on, T.
Yeah, I'm working it, man. I'm working. So listen.
What's your Twitter handle?
At SuperAgents Live.
Dude, I'm going to be jacking you up here in the next few minutes. You know how few real estate agents even have a Twitter handle?
I know.
And then when they have a Facebook page, the only thing you see a guy, he has a chance to make $1 million a year and he's got a picture of his little kid.
Well, you're absolutely right. So I see two things.
Dude, why don't you put a toothbrush up there? I mean,
or your half-eaten burrito.
Yeah, what's that about, man?
I don't know. You see one picture with a plate full of fried food, and then you see an empty plate. I don't want to see that. How does that help me? So, I mean, look, real estate agents are blowing it on social.
Yeah.
Most people don't have a Twitter handle.
Yeah.
If they have a Facebook page, they either use it in completely, all they do is post listings.
Yeah.
I don't care about that.
Yeah,
or,
exactly,
or they
dude.
mess with their kids. And look, in terms of you getting a show, I'm not surprised at all because what you have.
Because I'm handsome.
Well, you're a good-looking guy, Grant. I mean, you should.
Full head of hair. Look at this, man.
There you go. 40. How old are you, Grant?
I'm 56.
Wow, you look great.
Oh,
you
thanks,
work out.
Thanks.
But what you have found is you are obviously this authentic guy, right? You found your voice. And when you did those 1,200 interviews, the Grant Cardone persona came out, and people were like, I love that. People either resonate with you, they're going to love Grant Cardone, or they're going to go, this guy is full of himself.
Cocky, arrogant.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the people that criticize you, okay, it's interesting. It's like going down the road with your high beams on at night. The only people that it bothers are the people that are staring at you. So look, the people that criticize me because I'm cocky or I'm arrogant, one, you don't really know me. But the only way you could criticize me for being cocky, arrogant, or whatever you say about me, right? How I carry myself, my swag, because I got so much swag, I got so much confidence. The only reason you could possibly criticize me for any of that is you're paying attention to me.
Right.
So look, people need to get attention. This is what happens. There's 4 steps to success for anybody in any field. One, you have to get attention. You must get attention. I mean, unless you're part of some secret society that runs planet Earth, you're part of the Triangle or the Illuminati or something. Dude, you need attention. If you're not in the Illuminati, you need massive amounts of attention. Everybody except the Illuminati, the New World Order people, and you're a multi-billionaire worth a 60, 70, 80 billion dollars. Otherwise, this applies to you. 1, get attention. Number 2, get criticism for your attention. You must get criticism for your attention. It cannot just be all goody-goody. Okay, you can't just be, oh, I'm the best person in my community and I get attention. It's all positive attention. You have to get criticism for the attention. Third thing is that attention that turns into criticism must at some point turn into hate. You need some haters. You got to get people hating on you, man. Haters promote your brand. Haters are the ones that push you up to the top and keep you there. And if you just stay with it, keep doing whatever got the attention, that got the criticism, that got the haters, keep doing that until it turns into admiration. Because it will.
Got it. That is good. Attention, criticism, hate, and then admiration. There's a quote that I don't want to use, but it's by, I think Gandhi said it. The first thing, I won't get into that. Listen, here's what I want to know real quick.
I love Gandhi, man.
I do too. I can't remember the quote. It's something like, first everybody opposes you.
Yeah, I love that one. Exactly.
Yeah,
I love that.
They finally agree with you.
Yeah.
But so, again, coming from the swamp of Louisiana, tell us about that. There was one
from the swamps to big watches, man. Shit, this is wrong.
$45,000 Rolex sitting on your wrist.
Rolex.
There's one deal that was your breakthrough deal.
Yeah.
Right. Let's hear about that.
People hate that, Let's see here. Breakthrough deal. Dude, I don't think I had one breakthrough deal.
Come on, there's one deal that put you on the map. There's, right now, if you were a millionaire, you're going backwards, right? There's one deal that you're like, you have to get a bucket of cash to do deals. You didn't, for you, a guy like you, Grant, your financial growth is not linear, right? It is exponential.
Yeah, but look, man, you didn't even know about me 2 weeks ago, okay? So to you, it's like, yeah, man, I've had overnight success. It's overnight, dude. It's an overnight phenomenon. It just took 30 years.
Right.
I don't know when I became a millionaire. I don't even know when it happened. I know that it was, I've put 3 million miles on my body. 3 million miles, man. The last deal I bought, the last multifamily real estate deal I bought, I was looked in 3 states, got turned down on 23 deals to take 1 down.
Interesting.
The last big deal I did was the one I bought in Florida a year ago. It was $58 million, 1,016 units. I stole it. I knew the day I bought it, I made $20 million. I told my wife, I said, I guarantee I made $20 million today. 38 guys were bidding on that deal. 38. All of them were players. All of them had money. All of them could close. I was in L.A. I flew to North Florida, just north of 2.5 hours north of Miami, where I live now, and walked in, looked at the properties on a red-eye flight. I was the only principal out of 38 principals that flew across country on a red-eye, got in a car, drove all the properties myself. I didn't send a team. I sent me. And I was the first guy fell out. I didn't get awarded the project. And the guy called me up and gave me the deal. I said, "Why'd you give me the deal?" He's like, "That video you sent us was crazy, dude. We couldn't quit thinking about you." I said, "I know, y'all looked at it 72 times." I sent them an LOI in a video, not a regular LOI. And in the LOI video, video, I guess a letter of intent, video of intent. In the video, I had embedded a link so that I could see every time they clicked it, and there was a board. On the board were 5 members, and they looked at this video 72 times. So somebody on that board thought I was also awesome and handsome to be watching that video that many times.
That's so. Listen, is one of the keys to your success is doing, of course, take risk, be scared, but you're doing all this kind of crazy stuff, right? So you're sending out videos of intent. All of a sudden, one day you say, "Hey, I want to start. I want to have a show," and you start to create. There you go. Hey, by the way, so for
I wrote about what you're asking me about right now. I wrote about in a book called The 10X Rule. It's the fourth of 4 books that I've written. And the 10X rule is basically, look, find out, do not compete with anyone anytime. So when I knew that there was 38 bidders on this deal, the only thing I'm thinking about, I made a list of things they wouldn't do. This is out of a chapter in this book, how to 10X your income, how to 10X your net worth. And once you 10X it, how to 10X it again. I made a list of all the things these 38 people would not do. One of them was, they won't do a video letter of intent. So I'm going to do my letter of intent and video. What else won't they do? They're not going to do the red eye. What else won't they do? They might not go non-refundable from day one.
Wow.
So
did you do that? Non-refundable from day one?
On that day, did I? I think I went non-refundable from the day once we had a purchase and sale agreement signed off on.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So by the way,
but
so
$100 grand on 58 million, dude. I mean, it's like putting a quarter down on a hot dog.
For you, yeah, for sure.
No, not for me. I mean, I don't want to lose $100 grand. I don't want to get on a red eye either.
Hey, well,
and I don't want to fail either, my man.
I know. Well, you're killing it. Well, I just want to tell another quick story. So today's show, if you everybody go to SuperAgentsLive.com. Today's show that's airing today is a guy named Josh Smith. It's a great episode. Now, I actually had heard of you probably about a month ago or 2 months ago when I did this interview. Because at the end of every interview, I ask for a book recommendation. This guy today says, I said, "Hey, what if I'm an agent, I have $25, what book should I go buy?" He's like, "Go buy 10X by Grant Cardone."
Yeah.
So today's episode, the guy recommends your book.
Oh, that's cool,
I
dude.
actually wrote you off because I was like, 10X rule. And I'm like, who's this guy, Grant Cardone?
Yeah.
Never even looked you up.
Nah.
Until I saw that interview. So anyhow, fantastic day for the 10X rule book. So you didn't have one big deal that put you over the top. When did this mindset of yours, this risk?
Yeah, I'll tell you where it came from. Okay, it wasn't a deal that got me. It was the collapse. The Lehman collapse terrified me. Now I had already done extremely well in my life. Financially, I'd done well. I mean, if I compare myself to other people, I've done it very well. But I never do that. I don't think it's fair to me to compare myself to what others have done. Because then I always run into Warren Buffett, and then I'm like, oh damn.
Well, I'll tell you a story about Lehman.
Yeah.
Right. So Lehman fails. Banks are failing left and right. I actually started a company. I started a little fund, a little $12 million fund on the heels of Lehman collapsing because, they collapsed. There's a lot of companies that couldn't get money.
Right.
I found a deal. They needed $10 million and they were willing to pledge. They had a $33 million piece of land. And within 30 days, I went out and raised the $10 million.
Wow.
And we did bridge loans for those guys for about 5 months, and we charged 6% a month on that $10 million. And it was $10 million the first month, and then we upped it to $12 million. So
wow.
So again, doing some, seeing an opportunity. And
there you are, man. And despite that period of time, I mean, that was so risky what you did. See, the Lehman thing, what it did for me was it terrified me. It made me realize that for years I had been resting on my laurels. And that because I saw all this wealth start just disappearing, years that I had accumulated, 25 years of basically accumulating, doing a hard work. I mean, I wasn't part of the Lehman problem. I didn't create the problem. I didn't over leverage anything. I was far from lazy, but I had over the last decade started resting on my laurels. I wasn't taking advantage of every moment of every day and every opportunity. I wasn't squeezing the life out of every second. I wasn't taking advantage of every client. I wasn't, following up on every opportunity. I wasn't making the most of good when it was around. And I think what happened to me is I realized that I had put my family at risk. I'd put my personal finances at risk, and I'd put, my dreams at risk. And I'm like, I'll never do that again. I was 51 years old at the time, maybe 50 years old at the time. I hadn't written a book yet. That was when I wrote my first book. I wrote that on a Sunday afternoon. It's this book right here called Sell or Be Sold. Look how I'm getting books all in front of me. You notice that?
I love it.
Is that crazy? I wrote this book called Sell or Be Sold. I wrote that book in 3 hours on a Sunday afternoon after Lehman collapsed on Tuesday.
Unbelievable. I mean, that just an act of God, just the stuff poured out of you. And by the way, so what I'm looking at right now is his Sell or Be Sold, Closer, and the 10X rule. And for everybody.
And this one's if you want a full pipeline, just to make it clear.
What I can't read that one.
If you're not first, you're last. The original title of this book was Don't Be a Little Bitch. But the publisher thought it would offend women.
For sure. So if anybody wants any of these books, you can get a free book. You just have to go to audibletrial.com/superagentslive and get it. Are any of these on Audible, Grant?
I think they're on Audible. They're everywhere, dude. And if they're not everywhere, if you can't find my book, don't buy it.
Bad on you, Grant. You need that attention. So if anybody wants a book by Grant Cardone, go to that link. You can get a free book, free download, listen to it. So you were resting on your laurels. You were not.
My books are so good, Toby. Let me just tell you, my books are so good. You don't even have to be able to read.
Man, I'm telling you, man. When I have guys like you on the show, I cannot wrangle you. I had Tom Ferry on the show. Same way, man. I just can't wrangle. I can't get you in the box that you want to get you.
Tom. When Tom's out of swag, you know who he calls?
You.
That's right.
Really? Okay. Hey, well, so look, so Lehman failed. You sat down. All this stuff poured out of you. You wrote this book. Why was it to
because I was trying to solve my own problems. I'm like, okay, hey, what do I have to do now? I'm 51 years old, almost 51 years old at the time. The world's coming to an end. All the free credit's gone. I got real estate that's tied up. I had I owed one bank $40 million, and they were actually going to collapse. And so now I got problems, man. Yeah. And I'm like, oh my gosh, man, the whole world is going to become a salesperson now. That's the only solution because you couldn't get free credit. That's when all the mortgage brokers went away. I mean, I had buddies that were like, they were spending too much time talking on stage, being the expert, but not out doing deals. So I wrote this book because I knew this is what I had to go back to do, to sell myself, sell my products, sell my services, get on a stage where people knew my name. This was the first. The books went like this. I wrote this book, Sell or Be Sold. Then I wrote a book called Closer Survival. Then I wrote this book on
the 10X rule. No,
actually first or last, because this is about filling up your pipeline. They were written in this exact order because look, if you know how to sell but you can't close, well, then you're going to hate selling. And then if you sell and close and don't fill your pipeline up, then you're in trouble all over again. Yeah. And the last book I wrote was how to get as much attention as possible so that the world would know you by your name. And that's what people need to do today. They need to hustle until everybody associates your name with the field. So if you're a multifamily guy, there should be one guy in multifamily that's known around the world as the king. And the good news is there isn't. Same thing about commercial or residential real estate. There is no one or two, oh my God, that's the king.
Right.
Maybe there's a couple, one or two, but multifamily, there's even a bigger gap. There's not one go-to guy, maybe a company, but not a guy or gal that's like, oh, he or she reigns presence and domination over planet Earth.
And look, so what you're saying is, I don't want to talk about your books in a second, but what you're saying is there's tons of opportunity out there, and a lot of people, real estate agents, as well as like 90% of the people on the planet, they have a scarcity mindset, not an abundance mindset. Yeah. And you're coming at this with an abundance mindset, lots of opportunity. Talking about your books, the first one you wrote is Sell or Be Sold. Now that is learning to sell, right? You're either going to be sold to or somebody's going to sell you.
Yeah.
The third book is filling up your pipeline. Shouldn't that one have been first? Because you got to get stuff in your pipeline or your funnel in order to then sell.
Yeah, it could have been, but it wasn't for me, So I guess it could have been. I should have written these books years ago, man. Look, there's no money in the books. If you want to know about books, the fastest way to lose money is write 4 books. It's 4 times faster than 1 book. People don't read, man. The average American reads 1 book a year. Half those books are romance novels. Okay. There's no
only 10%, if you pick up a book, only 10% actually finish.
Yeah. There's no romance in any of these books. These books are about money. These books are about business. These books aren't even about a affluence mindset. What was the word you used?
I'm not sure.
Abundance. These books are about domination. These are ruthless books. These books are about getting to be at the top of the field, refusing to be second, third, fourth, or fifth. These books are not for average people or people that want to be average. This is the opportunity in America today. The opportunity in America is exactly what is happening to the middle class. The middle class is failing in this country for one reason. And when I say middle class, I don't mean how much money you make or where you live. I mean how you think. The middle class mentality in America is based on a concept of get in a class, middle class, get in the middle, and you're going to be protected. You're going to be better off than most people. Okay, this middle class is based on a concept of average. Average effort, average income, average savings, average money, average investment, average risk. Everything is average in the middle class. And while it was good for my mom and dad 50 years ago, the middle class today is shrinking, it's contracting, and it's under pressure. There's over a 30% chance if you're born into the middle class today, that in your adulthood, somewhere in your lifetime, you will actually fall out of the middle class, 30% chance, and into poverty.
Amazing. So I mean that bell curve, right? The middle class is that big bell curve. Everybody, we talked about holding it together. If people are in there, or if they're at the end of that, right? Maybe they're upper middle class. They got to break out of it. You were at the lower end of it when you started, Grant, and you came out, and now you're everybody talks about the 1%, right? You're the guy, or you're the guy that certainly you're I would love to model you. I mean, I love your energy. I love that you talk about being ruthless. I mean, I feel like this Wall Street vibe. I love Gordon Gekko, right?
Yeah.
Greed is good. I love that stuff. Yeah.
Well, look, it's interesting because and this goes back to this middle class problem. The fact that I even said the word ruthless 3 or 4 or 5 times in this radio show, that alone is gonna have people say, dude, what's that about? Why you got to be ruthless, man? Well, you should look up the word, okay? See, most people would be happier if I used the word nice. But if you look up the word nice, 700 years ago, the word nice first meant village idiot.
Interesting.
So I have a dictionary on top of all my books because words mean something. And most people are walking around. The reason they don't read books is they don't know what the words mean anymore. And the books you're reading, if you don't know what the word means, look, you're going to pull away from a field of study. The word nice was first meant to be the village idiot. So if they said you were the nicest real estate super agent, they basically are saying you're a freaking village idiot, man. So, when I talk about the middle class, I'm not talking about you could be middle class and make $275,000 a year as a real estate agent because the opportunity is $600,000 a year. And you're missing it by being in the middle, by pulling back your reserves, your energy, your resources, by not going all out, by not finding time and making time. Instead, you use the way the middle class does, I don't have time, as a big excuse. You hear this often. I don't have time. I got the kids. I got to take care of the kids. I'm a single mother. I'm a single father. Oh, my God. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, dude, don't blame your kids. Come on. I mean, blame a lot of things. Don't blame an 8-year-old for your problems.
So you're people are in the middle class. You have the 30% chance of going into poverty. Again, how do you not pull back but push forward? And really, what I want to get at, there's 2 things that when I talk to people like you, Grant, I'm amazed by, and is you've had this. I will say meteoric rise, but it was a meteoric over
30 years,
decades, right? 3 decades, and I realize that. How come you're still pushing? You don't need to work anymore, Grant. I mean, you have that $45,000 watch. You have a Lamborghini out in the parking lot.
No, I don't have a Lamborghini. I've never bought a exotic car.
You're not a car guy.
No, I use a car. That's all amazing. I do. I use it.
I'm a Porsche guy. I bought my first Ferrari when I was 33.
I had a Panamera. I loved my Panamera. I actually loved my Panamera and my 911, but
I have a C4S.
Oh, nice, man. That's hot.
Yeah. Yeah. But again, so
Is that your only car?
No. So
Okay.
no, so I have a So I have a C4S.
Because if that was your only car, I'd be really worried about you. Because then I'd have to label you a pretender.
No. My wife has a Cayenne.
Okay.
We have a Honda Odyssey.
Come
and
on,
I have
man.
an F-250. Yeah.
Man,
And I have a race car. I have a 944S full-on race car, roll bar, the whole bit. So I don't care if I wreck that one. So again, Grant, what is it within you that you keep pushing forward? Why do you want more? You don't have to have more.
Yeah, but the reason I am is because it's not. I'm ruthless about my potential.
Got it.
My potential, I know what my potential is. So the fact that you or somebody else could say, "Oh, he's done so well," or whatever the deal is. Look, I'm not pumping $30 books. I'm not promoting $30 books here because I need $30. I know this is my job while I'm on this planet. This is my spiritual obligation to mankind to make sure people in all over the world, not just in America, not just on your radio show, know who I am. And that's my job. It's my responsibility. It is my personal spiritual obligation to help people. And so when my accountant said, "Dude, you need to leave these books alone and you just need to buy real estate," I'm like, well, I would, but real estate doesn't spiritually fulfill me.
Yep.
And it doesn't fulfill me to know that my potential is up here, okay? I'm not satisfied. I already got in trouble like this once. I settled for what I got rather than my potential. I settled for what I could live on and eat rather than my potential. My potential is here. And if your potential is up here and you're dealing and you're performing at this level, you're going to experience grief in your life unless you're completely unconscious. If your reality is here and your potential is way up here, you will not be happy in your lifetime with your marriage, with your kids, with your home, with your income until you start working to fulfill that potential. It is the gap that I believe is the reason why people are not satisfied, why they get tired, why they make excuses, why they spend so much time at home doing nothing. It's because they're not living with, hey, man, what's my potential? And particularly the middle class, okay? They talk about how much better off they are than the neighbor or than their uncle or than somebody in another country. Dude, what's that got to do with anything, bitch? Look, this is your potential. This is your reality. Be honest with yourself, man. If everybody was just pushed into their potential, the whole planet would not have time for wars and drugs. And we would all become extremely productive.
I 100% love that. You know your why, you have a mission, and you know your potential, and you're going out to reach it. We're going to wrap it up there, Grant. Hey, man, tell everybody where they can go find you, and we'll sign up. See, everybody listen to this on my show. I'm watching him on the screen. He's doing crazy stuff. So tell us where we can find you, Grant.
You can go to grantcardone.com. You can also go, I tell you what, there's a thing in the back here that says cardoneuniversity.com. If you're really committed to becoming a professional salesperson, learning the mastery of sales, closing, negotiating. If you really want to be the strongest of the strongest, a celebrity in your space, learn how to keep your pipeline full, you learn how to use social media, go to CardoneUniversity.com. That's a $42,000 program. $42,000 program. That's what companies pay to be on that you can actually get a membership on for $2,000 for 12 months.
Amazing. What kind of deal are you going to give me? Come on, we're friends now.
I'll give you $2,000 for. It's a deal, man. It's $1 million program. Okay, it's got. I think there's almost 1,039 videos on there in 2-minute segments, so you can watch something real quick. I basically become your personal coach before, during, and after a deal to get a guy perfect. It works off a phone. It works off an iPad. Whatever I offer you, I got to offer everybody. So this is what I will do. If you want it, if you want to get it, I'll offer it. Download it to as many devices as you own.
There you go. Yeah, it's got to be mobile. No, look, I was just trying to close you.
I'm with you, dog.
Hey, buddy. Thanks again.
Thank you, Toby. Hey, it was great meeting you. Let's keep in touch. If you're ever in Miami Beach, let's go out and tear up the Fountain Blue, all right?
I'm down.
Okay, buddy.
See you, buddy.
Thanks. What a great guy, huh?